My name is Leslie Ng and I work in municipal government for the City of Vancouver. So I'm an engineer sort of planner with the sustainability department. I went to UBC. I'm an undergrad with the chemical engineering department, and then I worked for about 5 years before returning to school to do my MBA here at Sauder. You have to think about where you feel like you might fit in very well. The other things to consider, I would say, are what you're looking for in terms of job security, flexibility, to move on to different opportunities, working for yourself or working for a company, opportunities to travel, or professional development, and then also the type of schedule that you might want. So that might point to different areas in academia or industry. I would involve the people that you admire and ask them for an informational interview. Ask your profs for the connections that they have, other faculty member, and seek out your school's resources. Another great resource you should consider involving or tapping into is your career center. They often have great resources in terms of business contacts or other contacts and networking opportunities that you can tap into. I think what employers are really looking for is somebody who's really organized, somebody who can actually take large amounts of information and synthesize it, who has good analytical skills and critical thinking skills. Those are all very important. Those are all things that you gain and develop when you are doing a graduate degree. So I think those are all very translatable and important for employers, in addition to any project management skills or leadership skills that you are developing. Employers are also looking for people who are able to communicate effectively, I think. So taking that information that you have and boiling it down to something that's understandable for senior level management. They don't need all the details of all the studies or the analysis that you've just done. They want what the result is. So being able to communicate that effectively, and just highlighting your previous experience, whether it's in a different field, any of your leadership skills, and your adaptability and flexibility as well too are really important. Well, I think that employers are actually, they're more interested in the skills that you've developed as a graduate student. So having a graduate degree is not necessarily enough. There's lots of people out there who have graduate degrees, so it's being able to highlight those skills that you can transfer. And actually the other thing too is being able to be specific and explain why those skills are transferable. So you may not have the exact experience that the job is looking for, but you need to also explain then why the skills that you do have are transferable and how they're relevant to the job and why it would be an asset for the company. And I think a lot of people are willing to give you an informational interview as long as you're organized and respectful of their time. People are very willing to talk about what it is that they do and how they got there. I seek out informational interviews sometimes even now, just because I think it's interesting to find out more about what that person's role is, what they do exactly. Yeah, I think it's really important to do that. And even in fields that I may not have thought I was seriously interested in, I think it's important to explore those areas anyways, just to really give yourself an idea. I find it really hard to imagine exactly what a role is going to be like until I'm actually in it, which is often really kind of a challenging way to do it. So I need to talk to as many people as I can to really get a sense of what that's like. And even then it's hard, but it helps better than just trying to imagine what it would be like to work for industry or that company or whatever. I think the opportunities that you can find, they're with your career center. They're also with your faculty members who are often doing some great research that you can tap into. And also just through your friends or other contacts that you have, and asking them what sort of networking events they go to and finding out what's of interest to you and where you want to actually start meeting people and what type of people you want to be meeting, because you can't just network for the sake of networking. You want to make sure that you're focusing and being somewhat deliberate about the events you're going to. One of the things would be to not be afraid to reach out and try applying for jobs in different areas too, because oftentimes maybe the job pool is very limited in one area. If everyone wants to stay in the Lower Mainland, it becomes pretty challenging for people to apply for jobs. There's probably 200 applicants per job, so being able to be flexible and willing to move might help in your job search.